Good morning, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the Church of Doom. Hope everybody had a very good and is continuing to have a nice holiday weekend. What did I do? I actually had a pretty chill weekend. Erin spent 2 nights over at her mom's place. They were having a girls' weekend with our little niece, so I had the house to myself, which meant I basically just thought about D&D the whole time. I really dived into the Daggerheart rules and almost finished it. It's a big PDF. My hardcover isn't here yet, but it's like 300 something pages. So I got through all of the character creation stuff, read through all the different classes, started reading some of the how to prep and adventure stuff, and then I jumped forward and started reading more of the setting guide stuff. But I just sat outside and enjoyed it, and am loving the system, which is why I'm so excited for today's stream, where we're gonna build some characters. We're gonna prep kind of whatever classes you want. Oh, whoops! Let me get that little member goal thing in the bottom. Isn't supposed to be there. There we go. Yeah, I'm really excited for today to really see what it's like to make a character, because I haven't done that yet. I've just read all the different abilities and seen what the vibe of each class is. So we're gonna do that. You guys will vote on what we want to build, and then yeah, we've got a stretch or a super chat goal going here, which Marc was already nice enough to drop a little something in the bucket. Much appreciate that, Marc. Let me hit you with some likes and some little hearts in the chat there, my man. But yeah, if we get 5 super chats today, then we'll prep a one-shot. And it'll be system agnostic, like almost everything we do in the church. But it could be a one-shot you could easily run for a Daggerheart group if you're wanting to start it up, or for your 5e campaign. Who knows? You can take the ideas, throw them into whatever system you want. But thanks for kicking that off, Marc. I really appreciate it. It's going to be a fun stream today, everybody. Before we jump in, though, I wanted to show you guys a couple things here. So, let's see. Just wanted to get y'all up to speed on kind of what I've been doing here. Hold on, what the heck am I doing? Here we go, over into Canva. I just wanted to show you all the, I don't know what we have and have not shown off in the finished artwork. Map is still a work in progress, trying to figure out how to make things really visually distinct. I darkened the backgrounds a lot, so things are kind of wonky right now with the map. But I wanted to just show off all the new art. The only pages I have left to do right now are the Bombarded Garden, which I got the text for that finished last night, so just got to do a cool image for that. Then the Heaven Steps still needs art and finished text, but all the other areas, done. So, we've got the Ruptured Hive, the giant magma beetle, what do we call her? The Mantle Empress. She's living inside this volcano that sort of looks like an insect hive. Really happy with that one. We've got the Retching Quagmire, the nastiest, bubbling, sulfuric, swampy part of the entire tropics with some cool art. I really like this one. I think it came out good. The Scalding Spire. This is one of the newest ones. So this is that volcano at the northwest peninsula. If we're looking on the map, it's this one. Oh, I don't have a laser pointer in Canva. Duh, I'm thinking of Alpo Rodeo. That one, that's kind of highlighted there. It's the one that just spews endless steam and boiling water out of its mouth, because ocean waves kind of find their way inside the volcano and mix with the magma. And also there is an ancient arcane generator, or a giant, what did we call it? We called it a arcane reactor built inside the volcano. So this was the art that I threw together with this collage style, and the actual volcano itself is just a barnacle that I made look really big, and I could kind of layer it. I copied it twice over itself and then erased kind of the open mouth part on the frontmost layer so that I could layer steam between those two, so it looks like it was pouring out of it. I think this one came out so good. Really dig the Scalding Spire. Hey, Alex wants beans. I just saw another $5 hit the super chat feed. Thanks for that, man. Throwing a couple little hearts in there for you. Hey, we're 2/5 of the way there on our goal already, and then we'll prep that one shot. Hell yeah. By the way, good morning to G. Joel Moore. See you in the chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, we're going to do some character creation. Samael, good to see ya. Mark Clark, what did you say? I was like, OMG, that looks like a barnacle. Yeah, it is a barnacle, bringing us back to the volcano here. So that was a cool one. Dig that a lot. I think you might have already seen the Violet Port. This one is the most, obviously super saturated with the colors, but almost I don't even know how to describe the style, but I just like the way the mushrooms pop. They almost look like stickers that have just been placed on this scaffold ruined city, but it came out really, really good. So I dig that. The Blood Writhe, probably one of the simplest ones I did. It's 3 different images just layered over each other. The bats, the jungle, and then the sky behind it, and then threw in some steam and some clouds, but that was really cool. This is a new one that you guys probably haven't seen, the Pocked Mountain. This is where Facepalker dwells. We prepped this together, but this is basically it's a volcano that is so sulfuric, so acidic from the black dragon who is living within it that there's not really any magma anymore, but it is constantly drooling and retching up the sulfur magma that is causing it to fall apart. Like the whole mountain is crumbling and is all pockmarked, but it builds itself back up so quickly because of the hardening sulfur lava that it just looks like this big, like if you just spilled acid on a piece of metal, like in the Alien movies. That's the vibe I'm going for here. So bunch of different chimneys that it's all coming up out of, and I just layered over the most pock-ridden rocks that I could. Thought this one came out really, really nicely. I think you've seen the troll cauldrons, a couple different geysers popping off. The tangled horns. This is like the coolest perspective I think I've worked with on an image so far, with the giant roots in the background curling up out of the canyon. The clouds were all added in after the fact to kind of give it a sense of how tall these things are, that the clouds form at their peaks, and then that pterodactyl just swooping through came out really nicely. And all those roots too that are kind of drooping between the different towers, I added those all. So this one I think is one of the most complex ones I did. Actually, that's not totally true. This one, the Violet Port, was very, very complex. There's so many different layers here with all those different little scaffolding things. And then also, the Weeping Peaks. That one's like one of the most badass looking ones. That one's sweet. The waterfalls coming down from it, so cool looking. But the Citadel of Ivory, this one was the first one I ever did. And this one was really complicated to try and get like a town at the edge of a coastline, trying to find the right images to make it work. But it's looking so sweet, guys. It's looking freaking awesome. So only 2 pages left on the hexes. Then I just kind of got to throw together the like quick summaries of the hex locations, the major factions, stuff like that. But we're almost done, have this thing published. And it's going up. This is not the final image for the front. That's a placeholder. But this thing will go up on the Patreon, as well as it'll go out to all of the missionary members. So if you're not a member of the church here on YouTube, you can get some of the stuff here as well. But if you join either of those, then you will get to have this at the end of the month. It will go live. So best way to support the church is to join one of those, and then you get your hands on the zine when it's all done. But yeah, it's coming together really nicely. Just wanted to show it off for you all real quick. Was there other things I wanted to show off too? Oh yeah, this. So if you're a member of the missionaries, or if you are a profit level member of the Patreon, I can't remember off the top of my head, but you get access to the Doom Nomicon, which is just a link to my Google Drive where I upload all of the stuff that I release on the Patreon. So this is the Retrotropics folder. You can see we've got areas 3 through 12 already, boom, in here. All of them will be updated at the end of the month when I have like the final version, because some of these like little details have sort of changed since I originally published it, or little design things I noted. Like some of them have a little page number at the bottom, like oops, forgot to take that off. So these will all get updated. But then also, if you're a member here, you can go in and grab like all of this is different scripture that I've published. You can go in and download a bunch of these like digital miniatures that I've made. You can go get a bunch of different terrain files that I've made for your VTTs. I haven't really done like terrain or minis in a little while, but it's all still in there for you to go snag. So that is up for download if you are a member or whatever. Anywho, let's get into the real meat and potatoes of today, right? We are here to prep some Daggerheart characters. So I've got our core rulebook opened up here in Google. We've got our print-friendly cards to reference as we're making our character. And then I'm going to have to be on top of my game today because we're going to be switching back and forth between Canva and Google because they've got all of the like class character sheets on Daggerheart you can download as PDFs. So I brought those over into Canva and already have little text boxes for us to start filling out as we make these. I've never made a character, so I don't know how long this is going to take to make one. And we're, of course, just so everybody knows, if you're like new and you're just tuning into the church, this is not a mechanics first, everything else second sort of RPG group. This is a lore, fluff, flavor, all of that comes first, and then we think about the mechanics. So when we're brainstorming characters today, it is much more about how, like, what is our story? What is our backstory? What cool flavor, thematic aesthetic ideas do we have for this character, and how can we use the mechanics to kind of bring that to life, or kind of at the same time combine those two things, right? And I'm done wasting you guys' time. Let's do this. I'm going to throw up a poll in the chat, so get ready to vote here. I say we do... Honestly, this page has some of the more interesting classes. Maybe we'll start with one of the more interesting ones, and then we'll go from there. If we can get through 2 or more today, that would be great. But at 12 o'clock, I have to jump because I'm having a creative confessional with my boy Marc Clark in the chat. He's one of my patrons. We're going to have a little solo talk about Daggerheart. So let's build a... Let's do this thing. Let's build a... Why don't we go Rogue, Seraph... do we want to do Warrior and Wizard? I think that sounds like a good mix. Rogue, Seraph, Warrior, or Wizard? Start the poll. Okay, what's the first class we're going to prep? What's up, Kenneth? Good to see you in the chat. Alex Wants Bean says it's not an essence of pop. Oh, it's got an essence of pop art. Love, love, love the mushrooms. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, pop art. That's a good way to describe it. Over, talking about, where was that art? Yeah, super poppy. And it's partially because I inverted the colors. Like, normally I have... Or is that true? No, I guess these are the same. Normally I have, like, the brightest, highest color be yellow and the lower, darker color be pink. And I guess that is the case here. But it's just such bright, vivid pink. It almost looks like it's dripping. Like, it's just oozing this pink color. It looks really cool. Anybody else in the chat I haven't said hi to? What's going on, everybody? Samuel, hi, bros and sis. What'd y'all vote on? Did we decide? Wizard? Looks like that's the direction we're going to be going, yeah? Oh, we do have a little tie. Dang. You know what? I don't have a dice right in front of me. Hold on, I'm going to go get my dice tray. We're going to roll it. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to do a little yes-no die roll with a D4. 1 or a 2, we'll prep the Seraph. 3 or 4. Oh, wait, it changed. Oh, well, never mind. What am I talking about? I didn't end the poll in time. That's what it was. We went longer than a minute. Everybody decided we're going to prep a Seraph. Let me get down to the Seraph here. Where are you? There we are. Okay, Seraph. Sweet. So we've got that ready in Canva, but let's jump back over to Google and read up on the Seraph. Okay. Hell yeah. I think we already looked at this the first time, but now we've had, probably all of us have binged a bunch of different videos about Daggerheart character creation. I've read the rules. We'll see how much of that I retained. And with streamer brain, if I can actually make sense of this. But let's read through this again and just get familiar with it, as if we were doing this for the very first time, right? Seraphs are divine fighters and healers imbued with sacred purpose. A wide array of deities exist within the realms, and thus numerous kinds of Seraphs are appointed by these gods. Their ethos traditionally aligns with the domains or goals of their god, such as defending the weak, exacting revenge, protecting a land or artifact, or upholding a particular faith. Some Seraphs ally themselves with an army or locale, much to the satisfaction of their rulers, but other Crusaders fight in opposition to the follies of the mortal realm. It is better to be a Seraph's ally than their enemy, as they are terrifying foes to those who defy their purpose. Which, also, fun thing about Seraph, we learned that Travis is playing the Seraph in the new Daggerheart Age of Umbra campaign. What was everybody playing? Not to get so super distracted. Travis was going to be the Seraph. Marisha was going to be, I think, the Warrior. Sam was he a Bard? No, he was a Ranger. Ashley was a Rogue, I think, and Taliesin is a Wizard. And the characters they came up with were pretty cool, if anybody watched that Session 0 stream. Anyways, so domains, we're going to be working with Splendor and Valor, which over on our cards, which, oh, wait, do they say, oh my gosh, they don't say, oh, domain level, oh shoot, I don't remember the symbols quite yet. I think this is like Arcana. This is Blade, Bone. Oh god, I can't remember all of these, but we'll have to check those in a minute. Okay, so we know we've got Splendor and Valor to work with our cards. Our starting evasion is 9. Well, why don't we start filling some of this stuff in, right? evasion, 9. And we'll brainstorm our character in a second, but some of these things just automatically go over there. Starting hit points of 7. Oh gosh. I have to be like so good about switching between these things. Starting hit points was 7. Oh, where do we put our hit points on the character sheet? Or I guess it's the number of boxes you have filled in, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it already has it. Duh, that makes sense. Okay, I'm looking right. I don't have a laser pointer, but those little rectangular boxes are HP, so they're already filled in. Okay, back over to Google. Class items. We're going to be able to choose a bundle of offerings or a sigil of your god. This is one of the things that I didn't love as I was reading through the Daggerheart character creation section was the class items were it's such a short list. It's not even a list. It's like 2 things you can choose from. That's one of my things. Right now, you guys voted for my next video to be my Daggerheart loves and hates, or somebody had a funny idea to do Daggerheart hopes and fears. One of my hates or fears was that. Like, I would really feel like you could have done a longer list to show a greater variety of character types or whatever. But anywho, so we'll choose some items. Seraph's hope feature is life support. You can spend 3 hope to clear a hit point on an ally within close range. And we're going to have our class feature, which is the prayer dice. I think we read this the first time we were flipping through it, and it didn't really make sense to me because we'd skipped so much of the other stuff. Let me see if it makes more sense now. At the beginning of each session, roll a number of d4s equal to your subclass's spellcasting trait, and place them on your character sheet in the space provided. And our spellcasting trait is strength. So a number of d4s equal to our strength score, and place them on your character sheet in the space provided. These are your prayer dice. You can spend any number of prayer dice to aid yourself or an ally within far range, which far range is basically like anything anything in the battle that you're currently having is within far range, I think. You can use a spent die's value to reduce incoming damage, add to a roll's result after the roll is made, or gain a hope equal to the result. At the end of each session, clear all unspent prayer dice. Oh, okay, that's cool. That makes way more sense now. So you roll the d4s. Wow, this is sort of like if anybody's played Sisters of Battle in 40k, they have a miracle die mechanic that works like this. So you will literally roll d4s equal to your strength score, which at level 1, I think the highest is like 2. So I'd rolled 2 d4s. If I rolled a 4 and a 1, then I keep the numbers I rolled, I put those on the sheet, and then at any point, I could, like if someone failed a check by 1, I could use my prayer die that was the result of a 1 to bump them up to a success. Or I think I could even reduce damage by the 4 if I wanted, or if I needed, I could boost a roll by 4. That is so cool. That's a really fun mechanic. Okay, and I believe if we jump back over to Canva, those should already be on our character sheet. Yep, we've already got life support right here. And then our prayer dice down here. And that's where you put them. Sweet. So when do you get to roll? Do stats max at 6? Can you not have ever more than a +6? I would guess so. Okay, cool. So we don't need to write anything there. That's great. Now we look at our subclasses. This is where we're going to have to make a decision. Are we going to be the Divine Wielder, or are we going to be a Winged Sentinel? For quick context, the Winged Wielder, play this if you want to dominate the battlefield with a legendary weapon, or we could be the Sentinel, where you play the Winged Sentinel if you want to take flight and strike crushing blows from the sky. Let's start brainstorming. I don't want to leave this one up to a poll. I want to just hear your coolest ideas for either of these, the Winged Sentinel or the Divine Wielder. Can I get both of those in one little view here? Not really. I'll do my best. I'll put it right there, because at least then you can see Winged Sentinel, the name down here, and you can see Divine Wielder up here. What do we got? Let's just start thinking big picture, cool concepts. My first thought is a Divine Wielder. What if you were wielding a weapon that was a legendary weapon, but it was cursed? And sort of your task as this divine seraph is to wield a cursed blade. There's so many characters like that, but one that's jumping to my mind is a character from 40k lore, of course. He's a Grey Knight. What's his name? Something... Oh, not Kaldor. That's like the chapter master or whatever. Anyways, there's a character who wields a blade that has a demon living in it, and it is constantly trying to corrupt his mind, and he's the only one strong enough of will to wield this sword. We could do something sort of like that I think could be cool. But what other ideas do we got? Hey, what's up, Mr. Brady? Class items, like a lot of character creation stuff, is really just for inspiration, I feel like. They kept mentioning how you can just replace some of the... Totally. Totally. And I'm on the same page with you there, Mr. Brady. I know, like, a huge pitch of this game is, like, change it to whatever you want it to be. Make it whatever. I still feel like, though, like, the list, I just don't understand why they couldn't have just done at least a D4 list. And that's just me being a, like, I ritualistically write everything, or all of my ideas are in lists of 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 at this point because of just my obsession with D&D. But still, like, I feel like the class items can really give you, they're like the jumping off point for what we're doing right now. Like brainstorming a character. You can take the smallest little item and build it into something bigger. And I think they could have had more unique ideas sort of offered up to players if the list had been a little bit longer. But I agree, like, you're not limited to these two. I simply would have liked to have seen more ideas shared. Marc saying we should do a Divine Wielder. Alex wants beans. Also says Divine Wielder sounds coolest to me. We can have a lot of fun with a legendary weapon. Mr. Brady says, why not both? Divine Wielder Fairy, maybe a moth worshipping the sun god. Oh, that's very Hollow Knight. We could get both. That's true. We could pick our what do they call a species or whatever that gives us an ability of flight. Good point. Kenneth also saying some sort of divine wielder, but instead of a weapon, the divine weapon / tool is a mask that imbues the wielder with power. Ooh, that's cool. I don't know if that I would have to homebrew something here, because technically your spirit weapon is like one of your equipped weapons, but I suppose we could have a mask be an equipped weapon somehow. Homo Galpot asked, decided on a class yet? We decided on the Seraph. We're just kind of thinking about what we want our subclass to be right now. It seems like Divine Wielder is the direction we're going. We want to play the Divine Wielder. Okay, so we're going to have Strength as our spellcasting trait. Our foundational features are Spirit Weapon. When you have an equipped weapon with a range of melee or very close, it can fly. Oh, I forgot about this. It can fly from your hand to attack an adversary within close range and then return to you. You can mark a stress to target an additional adversary within range with the same attack roll. Oh, it's so fun. And then Sparing Touch. Once per long rest, touch a creature and clear 2 hit points or 2 stress from them. And then so this is where I got confused. And maybe Marc, because I know you have read this quite a bit. Hey, what's up, Kyle? Just saw you popped into the chat. I was sort of confused when you unlocked these different features. Is it like level 2, level 5, level 8? Are those the different tiers? The leveling up I was very confused about. Even still am, sort of trying to read through it. Now, granted, we're just making some level 1 characters here. But that was sort of confusing. Anyways, let's go back to Canva and see, is there anything we need to add so far with our Seraph? We got to select our... Oops. Got to mark our subclass. So we are the... Oh, shit. What did we call it? Or what was it called? The Divine Wielder. Divine Wielder... Sounded like Laszlo from What We Do in the Shadow. Divine Wielder! I'm a Divine Wielder! Alright, we got that. We know we're level 1, so we're... Is there nothing else we need to mark yet? Just from what we've read so far. So, now that we know our class, and we know our subclass... Can I actually duplicate this? It might be easier than needing to... I wonder if my computer can handle having 2 of these massive PDFs open while also trying to stream. Let me know if you start experiencing lag, because this could certainly be the problem, or that would be the problem if it happens. Let's go back to chapter 1 and follow the steps, right? Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. So character creation, getting started. We're sort of having our session 0 right now, but we're in this step, sort of still. Think about character concepts / choose your class and subclass. So before we move to step 2, let's keep thinking about concepts. Let's not rush past that, right? Kenneth has another idea. A Divine Wielder that uses a pair of gauntlets and greaves that blinds the Unholy with light and fire. Ooh, that's cool. There's a character in one of my campaigns, actually one of the campaigns that Marc's in. His name's Tiber, who was his family's name is sort of known as the God Hands. His mother was the left hand. His father was the right hand of kind of creation. Was sort of the mythos behind their family legacy and how they view the world. So his mother with the left hand. Oh wait, is that right? No. Father was left hand because it was like the left hand of... Wait, what the fuck was it? I'd have to check my notes. But anyways, one hand of Vecna, this is from the arc setting, right, is like healing magics. The other is necromancy and kind of killing magics, and Tiber has both. He's sort of been born with the ability to do healing and killing magics. So we could do something like that. We sort of take a spin on the hand of Vecna, and we could give our seraph hands of some dead prophet that have been, like, they had their own hands cut off, and the hands of these prophets were put onto their arms. That could be really cool, Kenneth. I dig that idea. Alex Wants Beans says, maybe the cursed sentient weapon is almost a little... Oh, here we go. Oh, no, it's a little bit venom-coated. I read that as Vecna. Venom-coated. It craves blood, and you have to keep it fed without caving to its bloodshed and going too far. That could be cool. Humble Gallipot says, look at the character sheet. The level up section shows when your subclass upgrades. Yeah, but I thought... Oh, yeah, okay. Just while I'm allowing myself to get distracted. So these is what you're talking about, right? What I'm confused about... Okay, I was spot on. Level 2, level 5, level 8. But when I reach, like, level 6, do I get to do this again? Choose 2 options from the list below, or any from the previous tiers? It seems like at each level I would get to do that, right? But it just doesn't explicitly say that. Like, it says at level 5, do these things, and then this is also there, but I'm like, okay, is that... What about, like, is level 6 and 7, does nothing I would think something happens, but I don't know. Anyways, let's not allow myself to continue being distracted. We were looking at character concepts. Kenneth says, still thinking maybe some sort of beam mask. Is that... I don't know if we can do a mask as a weapon. Could be like a magic guy. Hey, Kyle! Kyle Campy, appreciate the super chat. 3/5 of the way there for our one-shot bonus stream. Hell yeah. Much appreciated. Hit you with some hearts there, dude. That's super cool. Thank you. Thank you very much. So far our ideas we've got. Some sort of, your hands have been cut off and been replaced with gauntlets or holy hands taken from a priest. That's sort of my favorite idea, kind of combined with, was that Kenneth? Yeah, Kenneth with the gauntlets idea. I like that. Alex Wants Beans says some sort of venom-coated weapon where that's more carnage-coated than venom-coated, where it craves blood, and you have to sort of stave off the bloodlust. So that's another idea. I swear we had one more. Humble Gallipot says maybe we go Captain America subclass. I know you could do... I mean, we could certainly pick, like, a shield. I think you can even wield shields as weapons in Daggerheart. They have, like, a damage value and stuff. So we could do something like that. Maybe we go with this gauntlets idea. That seems to be the coolest one in the chat so far. I say we kind of keep that in mind. We are some sort of seraph whose hands are our weapons. Be they... enchanted, they've been blessed, or the more grimdark idea, been cut off and replaced with other hands, which is kind of Vecna coded. Okay, so we know our class, we know our subclass, we've got our vibe. We already did this, so we don't need to worry about that. Record your level, already did that. Character details. At any point in the character creation process, feel free to fill out your character's name and pronouns on the top line, as well as the character description details on the character guide. For some people, the character's name and appearance come first, and for others, it takes time to discover what's right. I think we'll sort of figure it out as we go, right? Kyle hitting with another little super chat. He has 4/5 of the way there, dude. You really want this one shot to happen, don't you? Hell yeah, buddy. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Humble also likes the gauntlets idea. Cool. We'll keep running with it. Oh, and Marc gave us some clarification on leveling. So at each level, you can select 2 advancements on your character sheet. You'll see that each advancement option has an unmarked square next to it in each tier. Wait. On your character sheet, you'll see that each advancement option has an unmarked square next to it in each tier. This represents the number of times you can take that advancement in each tier. Advancements are... Okay, I kind of figured that's what it was. Like, intuitively, that just seemed to be the case. And maybe I just missed it, but I didn't see anywhere where it specifically said, like, every level, do your advancements. I probably just missed it, though. But thank you for the clarification, Marc. Okay. So, our class features. Each class begins with a unique class feature or several. You don't have to write these features down. They're provided at the bottom left of each character's sheet. So we already got those on there, which I really like. That's like such a useful mechanic for character creation that I've seen in things like Daggerheart, where there's not a bunch of things you're needing to, like, in 5e, where you've got these big, long class abilities, that are the same for every class, but for some reason I'm needing to write them on my sheet, and my big ugly handwriting is taking up a bunch of the character space. Like, it's just so nice that they're already there. So we did that. Step 2, choose your heritage. Oh boy, oh Jesus, I just super shook my table. Okay, we get to choose our ancestry as the first step of heritage. Then we'll choose community and stuff like that. A character's ancestry reflects their lineage, impacting their physicality and granting them 2 unique features. Take a card for one of the following ancestries, then write its name in the heritage field on your character sheet. All right, so we could do the Clank, which is the robot. We could do a Dracona. Ooh, let's challenge ourselves, or at least I'm gonna challenge myself. I'm gonna go through each of the ancestries and see if I can think of a pitch for this character that fits the ancestry. First one for Clank is, we are a robot with human hands. I already love that idea. I think it's very cool. But we are some sort of automaton that was built to serve a priestly duty, and when the archpriest died or whatever, his hands were cut off and put onto our hands. I think that could be really cool. Dracona, it's a dragonborn. How do we make that different? Maybe our hands have been like burned, or I'm thinking like red dragon, like a red dragon burned our hands. We sort of placed them within their fiery breath, or a blue dragon hit them with lightning, or I mean that's kind of the same vibe no matter what dragon you pick. Although what I like about Daggerheart is there's endless kinds of dragons. There's not just red, white, blue, green, black, or whatever. But something about our hands were exposed to the dragon's breath and they blessed them could be too cool. Dwarf with wet hand weapons. I want to try and give a little variety where it's not all of these are like blessed holy hands. What's something different? Also, if you guys have ideas, like reading ahead. Can I zoom in here? Reading ahead on some of these other ancestries. Who's got ideas? Drop them in the chat. Like if you've got one for the fungal folk, put it down there. For a dwarf, maybe our hands have been replaced with like mining equipment. So we have like literally like a pickaxe hand and a shovel hand, but they can sort of like Inspector Gadget style. They can come down and then we have our clockwork hands that we can use. Or I saw in the write-up about dwarves in Daggerheart is they have really thick skin that they can put, like literally set gemstones and things into their skin. So maybe our dwarf has like enchanted gemstones set into his palms. That could be cool. I like that idea. Something for a fairy. Oh, hey, hey, what's up, Noble Knight? Good day, Noble Knight. Mr. Brady said maybe something for an Infernus, thinking of Bayonet. I think that's like a Nintendo character, right? You summon body parts of... Oh, yeah, that's... Okay, I'm thinking Super Smash Bros. We could do some sort of Infernus where you summon body parts of lesser demons to fight for you. Ooh, that's cool. Or, okay, that's fun, Mr. Brady. You're literally summoning big demonic hands to grab things or slash at things. I'm thinking you could also go with, like, our hands can become demonic arms. So we literally grow big demon hands or demon tentacles. Oh, I like the idea. It's not always, like, a normal hand, like how you'd imagine it, but could be a demonic tentacle. It could be like a snarling demon's maw, but the end of our hands are always changing into something demonic to fight with. That could be cool. Our elf. Maybe an elf who is so old. An elf like reaching the ancient period of their life. They haven't really been an adventurer before. They've lived a very mundane, elvish life. But then, what happens? What happens to their elvish hands? I don't have a cool idea for an elf. Does anybody have one for an elf? I can't think of anything. Fairy could be like... it literally could just be pixie dust. We're just throwing our dust around and it's doing magical things. That could be sort of a simple, fun take on it. Alex Wants Beans says, the idea of breath of the dragon imbued them with power is cool. It makes me think of a sword forged in dragonfire, except it's literally your hands. That's where my mind was totally... Oh, now that I'm saying that out loud, it sounds like Iron Fist. That's totally just like an Iron Fist ripoff, but hey, who cares? Marc's got an idea for the fungal, or the fungal, some sort of fungal seraph. The hands are a symbiotic entity that have augmented the fungal hive entity. Oh, that's cool. There's a fungal hive mind growing inside of our hands. It's like an alien fungal parasite that's giving us power. That's really cool. I dig that, Marc. Somebody else says, if you do a Bayonet character, you need the glasses. It's the rule. Hey, I already got my glasses right here. Or Bayonet's got like weird... I don't even know Nintendo characters well enough to make references or jokes about them. Why am I even trying? Humble Gallipot has an idea for Elf. Some sort of living wood gauntlets. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Like big... I'm imagining like Hellboy style gauntlets. They're huge. Big wooden ancient oak gauntlets that were just beating the living shit out of anything that gets in our way, and they can create healing magics. They're like carved from the world tree. That's cool. I dig that. Our fawn is a funny one because we've already got weird hoofs. So what happens with our hands? Maybe they've been kissed by, like, I'm imagining our fawn has like, bent the knee to different archfey and put the hand out for them to be kissed. And we've had enough archfey. This is kind of a silly idea, but enough archfey have. Wait, no, hold on. If the archfey wouldn't kiss our hand, we would kiss their rings. That's the idea I had in my head of like bending the knee, kissing the ring, and enough of them had done that. We've sort of gotten enchanted hands, but I have that idea backwards. We would be kissing their rings, so that doesn't really work. Furbolgs are kind of a boring ancestry in my opinion. I don't really have much to offer there. But Noble Knight has an idea for a halfling. A halfling who is exposed to terrible eldritch horrors that would have killed them had they not been a halfling who had a bunch of... If they hadn't been a halfling, the eldritch horrors would have killed them. Is it just because of like our family spirit or whatever that makes us resilient? But now we've got a bunch of eyes growing all over our body, including inside their hands. Oh, very like Pan's Labyrinth sort of vibe. That's creepy. Eldritch Horror and Halfling is kind of cool. What could be fun with it being our hands? I mean, halflings, like the trope with halflings is cooking and eating. Is there something we could do there with a spin on it? But I also I'm not a fan of like, I'm going to play the chef class. It's like, yeah. Okay. I'm not really, I guess, sure. It is a little silly. It's very like, that. The anime of like, monster. Wait, what's the one where they're cooking monsters? I don't know. It's just very like tropey. Doesn't feel very like truly epic heroic. Like you could do much in a battle as the chef class. But that's just my opinion. Noble Knight giving us an idea for the fawn. So maybe it's not him bending the knee, but he's a respected member of the community, maybe an elder. So the Fae show some respect by kissing his hands. He doesn't have much power, at least in a political sense. Yeah, it could be something like that. A halfling with divine spoon hands. Kenneth says he's loving the living wooden gauntlets idea and greaves, or maybe just gauntlets, but given they're alive, they can repair themselves if they take damage, and if they take more damage... Oh, yeah, they're, like, literally alive. They're still growing. As we go up in level, they're, like, sprouting big branches or jagged, like, barky knuckles that we can rip through things. It's a cool idea. Let me see if I can rip through a couple more before we kind of commit to one. I don't know if I can do all of them. I actually don't even remember what a Galapa is. Is Galapa Do they have, like, a quick summary of them anywhere? I know they do, but not like right here. Is the Galapa the turtle people? That sounds like a turtle name. Galapagos turtle? Isn't that like a literal thing? A giant? How do we do a giant without just doing... oh my god. How am I forgetting? Oh my god. Critical Role, Campaign 1. Travis's character. Vex, Vox... Or Vex and Vax. Scanlan. Grog? Is it Grog? Right, I think it's Grog. They do have Cyclopses. You could play, technically in Daggerheart, you could play as a Cyclops. Oh, what if we are a Cyclops? But they also have the option in Daggerheart to play, giants have 1 to 3 eyes. So either you like have the one big one in the center of your head, or you have normal eyes and a third one on your forehead. What if we are a Cyclops who has eyes on our palms that have opened up and have given us some sort of divine power? We're some sort of oracle of the giants. That could be cool. A goblin could have maybe... I mean, in my D&D world, I probably wouldn't have, like, goblins as a player character. They tend to be my, like, evil little fungal monstrosities. Marc says, we could play Groggery Strongjaw. Yeah. Wait, his full name isn't Groggery, is it? It's just Grog, right? I know, Alex. I can't believe I forgot Grog. Travis is my favorite player. Oh, Groot hands, Kenneth. That's a cool take on it. What could a goblin have? Maybe we stole something? Oh, here's a fun idea. What if our goblin stole, like, really fancy nobleman's gloves that have some sort of enchantment on them? I'm thinking, like, Princess Diana, like, the white, really fancy gloves. We're this mangy, disgusting little goblin, but we've got these magic white gloves. That could be funny. Anything else? We're not doing Qatari. I refuse it. I just won't do it. I can't bring myself to be a cat person. Samaya? What was a Samaya? Isn't there like a... No, I'm thinking of the fairy. They're the bug people. What the hell's a Samaya? Someone remind me. I cannot remember what the Samaya is. Hey, Eric, welcome in. What'd you say? A goblin sailor with a background on pirate ships after decades... Ooh, I'm wondering if that's sent a little early. I'm guessing you were saying, like, decades of handling, like, rope on the ship. We have some sort of ability that has something to do with that. That could be kind of cool. Well, why don't we take a little poll now? We've brainstormed quite... Oh, Samaya is... Oh, they're like the monkey people. That's right. That's right. Well, why don't we do a little poll? I can only include 4 options. Let's play a ... So what were some of our ideas? We had a... I'm going to just give this to the human idea. We were a... Or no, we had the Clank. We were a Clank with human hands. We were a human... The Clank has been given the priestly human hands. I'll just combine that with my idea of, like, the human priest who's cut their own hands off. Sort of, that's, like, very, very similar. I liked the dwarf with gemstone hands. I thought that was cool. We had the elf with... I'll call it world wooden gauntlets? Wooden gauntlet hands? Yeah, we can do that. What was my other favorite one? I liked the Chacona was cool. Oh, but the Fungrel was really cool too. And the Giant. Those were all cool. We'll go... Which one to offer? Oh, Samael said, why no goblin? They are the cool version of the halfling. In my setting, all halflings are extinct and they are only greedy goblins. Just because in my world, I like a lot of the fiction I pull inspiration from has things like orcs and goblins and gnolls and the lizard folk are the monsters that you fight. I like that in my settings. I like when you run into goblins, you're like, oh no, these were born from an evil god or something like that. So that's just for my specific setting. And obviously in the world of RPGs, I can build a world where goblins aren't evil, but my default is, goblins are sort of evil. The Fungrel idea was cool. Yeah, let's go with that one. So we could do a Fungrel with parasite hands. Okay, let's run it. Are we gonna build a Clank with priestly human hands, a dwarf with gemstone hands? Gemstone's been set into the fingertips and things. Are we gonna do an elf who has the big wooden gauntlet world tree hands? Or a Fungrel that has some sort of... It could be a plant-based, or it could... Well, I guess funguses aren't plants. They're technically animals. But a fungus-based or like an alien-type parasite, something has rooted itself into our palms or is expressing itself through our hands. What do we want to do? Dang, 6 votes, 3 tied both ways. 3 for the elf gauntlet, 3 for the fungal parasite hands. Okay. What are we thinking? Anything, Chad, I've missed out on so far? Noble Knight said, in reference to the idea for playing a Cyclops, and maybe it's like the D&D thing where Cyclopses can see the future. Maybe they can be... Oh, that would have been cool. Yeah, if I put Giant on the pole, yeah, an Oracle-type Cyclops with eyes in his hands who can use that to sort of see the future, and that steers the directions and the actions he takes with his hands. That's really cool. It's been a minute. We're 50-50 tied. The next one that goes up, the very next one that goes up is what we're going to prep. We doing plants, or I heard they're connected to trees, some sort of communication network. Yeah, actually, I thought all funguses were like their own sphere within the animal kingdom. I thought they were like not plants, but they're also not quite animals. They're like a unique thing. I guess I'm gonna have to roll for it. Looks like. Okay, 1-2. We're prepping the elf with wooden gauntlets. 3-4. We're gonna do the fungal parasite. That's a 2. Elf with wooden gauntlets. All right, end of the poll. Okay, so we know our ancestry then. We're going with elf. So I guess there's a card for this we can take. Is that included in this printout of all the cards? Or is this just domains? This might have just been... Oh no, here we are. Okay, so our elf card grants us quick reaction, so we can mark a stress to gain advantage on a reaction roll. Here, you know what I'm going to do just for our sake? Or our purposes right now? I'm going to just do a screenshot of the card. And then we can go over into Canva again. And we can just drop this in here as a little PNG. So we can just remember this. It's going to look weird because it's just like overlaid. And I can't drag it off the screen. But we'll just remember that. In fact, here, we'll put it here for now. So as the elf, what was it saying? I kind of jumped into that idea before I finished reading. So we have quick reaction, mark is stress to gain advantage on a reaction roll, and celestial trance. During a rest, you can drop into a trance to choose an additional downtime move. Oh, cool. I forgot. I don't know if I've gotten to that section where I know all the different downtime moves. Okay, do we need to write our hair? Yes, up here. Elf. Okay. We are an elf divine wielder who has these big wooden gauntlets. Cool. Let's go back to see what's next in our character creation steps. So we did our ancestry. Okay, now we choose our community. This will probably be easier. Next, you'll choose a community from the available community cards. Your character's community is influenced by its physical location, values, and goals. It informs the culture your character grew up in and might play a part in the way they look, act, or approach situations. Each community comes with a feature that you can utilize during the game. Take the card for one of the following communities, then write its name in the heritage field of your character sheet. Okay. So Highborn, Loreborn, Orderborn, Ridgeborn, Seaborn, Slyborn, Underborn, Wandererborn. I'm guessing it'll be Wildborn. That will probably make the most sense for us. Where are these cards? Right here. Definitely, well, I guess if people have ideas for things other than Wildborn, which would grant us Nomadic Pack, add a Nomadic Pack to your inventory. Once per session, you can spend a hope to reach into this pack and pull out a mundane item that's useful to your situation. Oh, cool. That is totally a Blades in the Dark mechanic, or inspired by it. Sort of a flashback type mechanic where it's like, well, I didn't necessarily go buy it in town when we were in town, but now in the moment, can I say that I did? That's sort of the vibe. Okay, that's interesting. Oh no, that's Wandererborn. Wildborn is Lightfoot. Your movement is naturally silent. You have advantage on rolls to move without being heard. What was different? And the elf was advantage on reaction rolls. Okay. So this is going to sort of influence how we came about receiving these gauntlets. We got to think about that here. Were we given them as like a holy ritual, or sort of like, here you are, go be an avatar of our god? Did we steal them? Did we find them? Maybe in like a Fey Grove? That could be interesting. We put them on and we can't take them off. They're like some, and they could sort of combine ideas from our fungal gauntlet, where they're a parasite. What if this is some sort of Fey tree blighted sort of situation? Not blight, but like they are literally grown into our arms and we cannot take them off anymore. That could be cool. Are one of these going to fit that better? Highborn has to do with privilege. I don't really think so. Loreborn is well read. You have advantage on rolls that involve the history, culture, or policies of a prominent person or place. Orderborn, you can record 3 sayings or values your upbringing instilled in you once per rest. When you describe how you're embodying one of these principles through your current action, you can roll a d20. Ridgeborn, you have advantage on rolls to traverse dangerous cliffs. Maybe we found them up in the mountains somewhere and we climbed up there. Yeah, I actually feel like Ridgeborn could be cool, because with the gauntlets sort of growing and being like their own living plant thing, as we climb, they sort of can root into things. I feel like Ridgeborn could be really fun. Might make sense for us. Seaborn, you know the tide. You can sense the ebb and flow of life. When you roll with fear, place a token on this card. Nah. Slyborn, you're a scoundrel. I don't think so. Underborn is from somewhere deep underground or in shadows. Yeah, what do you... I feel like Ridgeborn is pretty cool. Especially with the way we sort of just described it, where maybe we found these... Where did we find the gauntlets? And did we... They can help us climb, but I imagine we were sort of able to climb long before we got them. Maybe they... Anybody have ideas in chat so far? Alex Wants Bean says, I kind of like the idea that we found them. And they, like, fused, attached, became bonded, and then we are scouted by an order to work with or train us. Yeah, something like that could work. Kenneth Green, we definitely found them, and now we can't take them off. Alex Wants Bean adding, can't take it off, no one else can use it. It's the... Oh, it is the Ben 10 watch. I loved Ben 10. Oh my god, growing up, Ben 10 was the coolest. It's like my absolute favorite show. All right, well, let's copy over Ridgeborn onto our character sheet. So we know we're an elf. And we know that we are... Oh, here, let's add a little border. Make these kind of stand out a little better. Perfect. Okay. That will play into where we found our gauntlets in some way, I think. Can we also copy that over to this one? Perfect. And we're an elf. Okay. Be thinking about that, though. Where did our elf find these gauntlets? Maybe we were climbing trees, and we found them at the top of, like, some ancient tree set into the bark. Like, some fey angel or something had sort of died or been pierced atop the tree, and we found them on their arms. That's kind of Green Lantern style. We found them, and they chose us. Or whatever. There was some ancient temple at the top of a mountain. We climbed all the way up there, and we got them. I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out as we go. Okay, what's the next step? We chose our community. Languages. In Daggerheart, you're not asked to pick specific languages for your character. This game assumes that everyone speaks a common language. It's up to you whether that's through mundane or magical means, and that sign language is widely understood across cultures and communities. If you'd like to have specific regional languages in your campaign, discuss options with your table. Yeah. How often do languages really come up in a campaign? Well, I say that, but actually in my last session, languages did come up, but not in like a super, super influential way. All right, step 3, assign character traits. So we have a +2, a +1, a +1, 0, 0, and a -1 to work with, assigned out between agility, strength, finesse, instinct, presence, and knowledge. All right. Over to Canva we go. A +2, a +1, +1, 2 +0s, and a -1. Where do we think we're going to put those? If we've got gauntlets, I feel like that's obviously going to be strength-based, right? And we are a seraph who I believe is like a martial class. So I think we put the +2 into strength. Agility is for sprint, leap, and maneuver. Finesse is for control, high tink. I don't think we're going to be very finessey. I think we'll keep that as one of our 0s. So we have 2 +1s and a -1 to work with. Now, instinct is to perceive, sense, or navigate. Presence is to charm, perform, and deceive. Knowledge is to recall, analyze, or comprehend. I think we need to establish some more lore for our character, right? Hey, what's up, Edward? What's up, fellow acolytes? Welcome welcome member. We've got Alex Wants Beans and Edward Boyer and Marc, our 3 members in the chat. Hell yeah. And Samael. How could I forget? Oh, we do. Oh, yeah. And our strength is our spellcasting trait as a divine wielder. Good memory there, humble. And so that should definitely be our +2. I'm thinking since we are someone we've talked about who can climb a lot, that agility should have a +1. Whoa. And then we need to put a +1 into one of our dump stats. Instinct, presence, or knowledge. What do we think makes the most sense for our character? Kyle's adding an idea here. The hands are the hands of an ancient dryad. Ooh, that's cool. Still harbors the smallest seed of its life essence. That's why they can't be removed, or someone else used them. The dryad's spirit has bonded to us. Oh, that's kind of cool. Some sort of dry... Yeah, okay. I dig that. That also is taking a little bit of the venom-coded idea that I can't remember who had pitched that before. Was it Alex? That they are like the Dryad is venom growing on our arms. That could be cool. Noble Knight redacted the idea. Dang, I wanted to see what it was. Okay. Or Noble Knight also had an idea. Maybe we fell off of a cliff one time, and since then we were holding on for so long, something grew in our hands and ate it? Something grew on our hands and we ate it? You're getting crazy with these ideas, dude. Okay, Noble Knight dropped it again. Instinct to sense dangerous spaces and to help with rock climbing because they can sense loose rocks. Ooh, that is kind of cool. Instinct for navigating cliff sides. That's also a good point, Humble. Okay, yeah. We'll put our +1 into instinct and agility. And then I think presence will be our -1. Charm, perform, deceive. I'm just not seeing that being a part of our character for whatever reason. Well, or is it more of a knowledge thing that we're not very good at? What were we? We're building this character as we go. But what made us... Where did we find them? We had our Dryad idea, which is interesting. Maybe we... Someone had the idea that we were like climbing and we fell and got stuck somewhere. Almost like 127. Oh, okay. Tell me if this is a ridiculous idea. But you know the movie 127 Hours? The guy who was hiking, he fell down, his arm got stuck between the rocks and he had to cut his own arm off. What if we were climbing and we fell or our equipment broke or something happened that left us like stranded on this tiny little ledge over, and it was just like a fall to your death. And we could attempt to climb down, but we were already so exhausted. We didn't really have all of our gear. It felt like a death sentence. And it just so happened that there was a tree kind of growing out of the face of this cliff. And a Dryad lived in that tree. This extremely isolated Dryad who spent their whole life just kind of looking out across the vast wilderness of the world, but was not really able to experience it or walk amongst it because they were up on this cliff face. So they, being a fae, being sort of a tricky, kind of take advantage of a situation sort of being, said, hey, I can help you get out of here, but I'm going to ask for something in return. And they basically, now we're taking this venom-coated idea. Maybe we had to still had to cut our own hands off or something, but we took their arms, their hands, and fused it into ourself. And now we have these Dryad arms that allow us to climb things a little bit better, can kind of root into the stone, and can cast healing fae magics and things like that. But the deal is, wherever we go, they go with us now, so that they can see the world. They want to wander it with us. Does that sound cool? Sorry, I got a text from my dad about the new Mission Impossible movie. But with that idea that I just pitched, what do we kind of think? Do we like it or no? Alex Wants Bean says, yes, this is excellent. Noble Knight's digging the idea. Edward says, if you're leaning for a venom-coated idea, maybe negative presence makes sense, as you have a more imitating presence than a charming presence. Oh, you're saying we're scary in a way, so that's why we have a bad presence. Yeah, I could agree with that. And just based off of Alex and Noble's response, seems like we dig this idea that we've made this sort of, and Kyle is on board with it too. Cool. So we made a deal with an archfey, or not an archfey, with a fey creature, and they have. This actually works really well for how I pitch fey in my world. Fey are a literal. They are a fungal infection, but they don't always have to necessarily be fungal in their appearance. They don't all have to be like big mushroom-capped things. But the idea is the Fae grow and infect things. They're not just like you. If you encounter a fairy, more than likely that means you are like at the very farthest edge of where a Fae infection is beginning to spread. and eventually you'll start to see bigger and monster or more terrifying Fae things sort of emerging from this infected area. And when the Fae infects a region where mortals are, it brings out the most wild, not ferocious, I guess wild is fine, the most wild base instinct that a lot of those things have. So this Fae has infected our arms and has become an extension of us. Okay, very, very cool. What is next? What were we deciding? I forgot what step we were on. Oh, we were assigning out our traits. Okay, we did that. Okay, moving on to step 4. Record additional character information. It's time to take a quick break. So evasion, we already noted that. Your character's evasion reflects how hard it is to hit you. A class has a starting evasion, but it will go, I think it goes up from certain things. You can choose how your character's evasion manifests within the narrative. A wizard might avoid blows with a shimmering arcane shield. Oh, I love that they let you decide. That's so cool. For our guy, what do we think? How does he block? Of course he could this is just Groot and Venom as a character, right? But we could grow like a shield of bark in front of us, or we could thwip some vines out of our hand and pull ourselves out of the way. We could just grab the weapon between our hands, catch it in these big bark hands that take a big chunk of the blow, but it doesn't actually deal damage. It's just like an axe going down into wood. It just chips away some of it, but it'll grow back eventually, so it doesn't kill us. Those are just a few ideas I had. But okay, cool. So we already noted that down because it's from our class. And then we've got our hit points. We already noted that down. Each class starts with a set number of hit points. Okay. I don't think we need to do anything there. Hope and fear, that's just something we'll roll. Choose your starting equipment. Okay, next you'll choose starting equipment, weapons. You choose your starting weapons, armor, and other items. So choose your weapons. You use physical weapons to attack your foes. And if you have a spellcasting trait, such as from your subclass, heyo, you can also wield magic weapons. At character creation, you can choose either a two-handed primary weapon or a one-handed primary weapon and a one-handed secondary weapon. Okay, cool. Also, I love the way that they do damage, where it's based off your proficiency. So at level 1, you do 1d8 damage or 1d6. But at level 3, you're doing 3d8 or 3d6. I think that's really cool. So we need to find it. Oh, geez. Where is the big list of items? Is that after the classes? Give me a second. Let's see. Where is it? Where are you? Hold on. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the table of contents. Oh, I forgot I had 2 of these open. Oh, that's because this one's on the Seraph. We'll leave that there. Okay, where is our... Here we go. Equipment. Perfect. There we go. So we'll probably want something magical, I would assume. Oh, hell yeah, they have arcane gauntlets. Well, that was easy. And it's tier 1. So I think we can take that, right? We'll take our arcane gauntlets. They're strength-based, range, melee, d10. So we'll do 1d10 plus 3 magic damage. They're two-handed, so that's all we'll get. But that's fine. That's all good with us. 1d10 plus 3 magic damage. Okay, let's come over into Canva. We'll note that in our active weapons. So we're not going to have 2. We're only going to have 1. And we'll call them... Originally, I was thinking it was World Tree vibes. But since we're going Dryad, what could be a cool name for these? Maybe Claws of the Dryad. These are our gauntlets. So it's... oh, do they have a trait? Oh, it's strength-based. Okay, so strength... Melee range. That's not how you spell melee. So we got that. Damage type is 1d10 plus 3 magic. Is that how they note that? Or they just do mag. M-A-G. Okay. Claws of the Dryad. We have a cooler name. Claws works, but it's lots of slashing. That's it makes me think of clawing into things with their big talons. But I guess we could easily just bring the claws in and have them be big, devastating punches, but we probably do want to emphasize the fact that the fingers are sort of sharpened and long to help with the climbing. I think that makes sense. Ooh, here's a question from Edward. Would this Edward, would this creature would this creature ambition to explore to know the world eventually overtake your character's own ambition? I could see it playing into our flaw of the character, and at certain points maybe even needing to make, like, if the party was presented with an opportunity or a decision where it's like you can go discover and see this new thing or go deal with an existing problem or something, then the Dryad would probably be pushing us towards the new stuff. They're always wanting to go see things. They get bored of stuff quickly. It's a good question, Edward. Very, very good question. Kind of get into the mind of this character, because you're essentially, with the help of the GM, who would probably play the Dryad, but you're kind of playing two characters in a way. Or you have to at least take the desired action of one of the other characters or an NPC very seriously, or take it into account. Okay, sweet. Okay, we got it. Claws of the Dryad. That is our weapon we chose. We only picked the one because it's a two-handed, so that step's finished. Now we got to go back to, oh geez, character creation that I, where were we in that? Hold up. Wait a minute. There we are. We're back. Okay. So we chose our weapons. Now we're going to choose our armor. You use armor to reduce the severity of incoming attacks. At character creation, you can choose one set of armor and equip it. You can find armor suggestions at the bottom of your character guide, but if you'd like to choose your own, you can find all starting armor in the armor table section in Chapter 2. These are also available as a separate sheet to print out from the Daggerheart website. Okay, cool. When your character equips armor, record its details in the active armor field. And we're choosing, what are we choosing again? You can find armor suggestions at the top of your character guide, but if you'd like to choose your own, find all starting tier 1. Okay, it's just down in the armor tables, which is where we were just a moment ago. Let me scroll back to those. I'll want to take a look at the full table, but I'd also be curious to see what it suggests. These are weapons, more weapons, more weapons. Where is the armor? Here we go. Okay, so we can choose anything from tier 1. So we can take gambeson, leather, chainmail, or full plate. And we can obviously flavor these however we want. So what I would probably say is we'll take, I don't know if we want to take do we want to take chainmail? We'd have a -1 to our evasion, which is, what's our evasion right now? 9. And then our trait, our elf, gives us advantage on reaction rolls, which is good. If we have the -2 to evasion, like having the advantage will definitely boost us. And we also have advantage on rolls to traverse dangerous cliffs, but evasion doesn't have anything to do with skill checks. It's purely getting hit. What does it recommend? Seraph. We don't have a shield because we didn't take a secondary, but armor says, it does suggest chainmail. Threshold will be 715 and a score of 4. Yeah, what do we think? If we took chainmail, there's a lot of ways we could flavor it. It could be like the gauntlets are thickest and our forearms and our hands are just solid bark, basically. But then the roots have sort of spread across our body and interlocked into this sort of mesh that acts like chainmail, kind of hangs under our clothes, though, and it can recede if we want it to. Or I like the idea that our armor really is just like bringing our gauntlets up to just block things and take in the damage, or grow a Groot ball around ourselves with all the vines. I sort of would probably, if I were playing this character, that would be how I flavor it. But yeah, we'll go with chainmail. So we've got, what could we call that one? What's a fun name? Claws of the Dryad and root mail, root lattice, something fun like that. That's a cool name too, Kyle Campu. The Dryad's grip instead of Claws of the Dryad. Dryad's grip sounds more like an ability though than it does a weapon, at least to my ears. Noble Knight says, if we're going to use chainmail, maybe that's just the vines of the hands everywhere. Yeah, I think we'll call it, what about Dryad's roots? which is just functioning as chainmail. So the base threshold of those is 715. Is that what it said down here? Yep. And it has a base score of 4, which, if I remember correctly, so we have an armor score of 4. Our damage thresholds, we can put those in now, because add your current level to your damage thresholds, which is based off of our armor. So we actually have 8 and 16 as our threshold. So if we take 7 or less damage, we would only ever mark 1 HP of actual damage we sustain. If we take 8 to 15 damage, we'd mark 2, and if we took 16 or more, we would mark off 3 from our 7 HP that we have available. And the armor of 4 means, I think what that means is we have 4 of these armor slots that we can, I think you mark them off as you take the damage. But basically, if you get hit, and let's say we suffered like major damage and we were going to mark 2 HP, you can give up one of your armor, which would leave us with only 3 left because we have 4. We'd give up one of these, and then we would only take 1 HP. We would bring it down from major damage to minor damage. I think that's how that works. So we've got our armor figured out. We know our evasion. We've got our damage thresholds figured out. We've got our claws of the Dryad weapon. We've got our Dryad roots, which is our armor. So we can delete that other one. Okay. What's next? What's next? Where are we in the rule book? Can't see the preview. It hasn't loaded. Okay, sweet. Choose your weapons. Choose your armor. Done. We did our armor score and all of that. Marc, let me know if it looks like I'm doing any of this wrong. I think I'm doing it correctly. Oh, we do have to reduce our evasion. Thank you, Noble Knight. See, that's why I need you guys. Because our evasion does suffer a -1 because of the chainmail. So it goes down to 8. Good catch. All right, next, we get to choose our starting items. Your inventory includes anything else your character is carrying. The top of your character guide lists all of their starting inventory items, which include the following. Torch, 50 feet of rope, basic supplies, a handful of gold. I love the gold mechanic. I love it. It was one of my favorite little bit of rules in this whole rule book of you've got handfuls of gold, you've got bags of gold, and then you've got a chest of gold. And it just makes it so much easier when your characters are at a market or wanting to buy something or whatever. Instead of being like, well, what's the... Oh, this costs 9, but this one costs 7, and this one costs 35. You can just be like, it's just a handful. Or it's 2 handfuls of gold. That is such like natural language. I feel like in a session would be really easy to use. I love it. Okay. Anything specific that I need to note here before we go brainstorm some items? I don't think so. Okay. Let's come up with our starting items. Where do they list those? Oh, down in our inventory, I'm guessing. I'll shrink these down a little bit more because we don't have any inventory weapons to worry about right now. Okay, what would be some cool starting... I'm not going to put down like the rope and the basic supplies. We can just ignore that for the time being. But it says you can either... you take 50 feet of rope, basic supplies, and a handful of gold. Then you choose between a minor health potion or a minor stamina potion. I think stamina potion reduces stress. I think. And what does stress do? Oh, shoot. When you take stress... I think how it works is you basically, once you reach a certain level of stress, you start taking damage if you were to go above your max stress threshold. What, is that how it is? Yeah, so we would mark stress, and then right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 stress. If we were to fill all of those up and need to take a 7th stress, well, we don't have any more available slots to put stress in. So instead, we would mark an HP. So if I'm remembering it correctly, and that's what they do, that could be pretty useful to take. Obviously, this doesn't matter. We're not playing the character. But we'll say we take a minor health potion. What the hell? So we've got a health potion in our inventory. And then this is where we get to have some flavor. You can choose either a bundle of offerings or a sigil of your god. We're going to not take either of those. I want you guys to help me brainstorm at least 1 or 2 pieces of inventory that would be really special to this character. An idea that just jumped into my head. Maybe the way we discovered there was a Dryad in the first place is while we were up there on this cliff, and maybe we sat there for like 4 days. The Dryad just watched us suffer for its own entertainment, being a fae. But to pass the time, we snapped a piece of... We went to break a little branch off of the Dryad's tree, to like whittle. We had our little knife and we were like, well, at the very least, I'm going to just... For one of my final things, I'm going to make something. I'm going to whittle something. So that could be something in our inventory. And after we snapped it off and started to carve it, the Dryad's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, how, shows up as really angry. We broke off a piece of their tree, but we sort of have it still. It's not finished, but it's something we're always working on. That could be fun. Or maybe like the piece of the whatever piece of our climbing gear that broke and left us stranded, we sort of keep that as a reminder of what happened. Or we could have like a telescope, something like from when we were up there, we used it to get a good view of what was around us. Kenneth saying maybe something from our home. Yeah, I'm trying to think what that could be too. Edward Boyer the third. Oh, give me clarification. The stress meter is giving me Darkest Dungeon flashbacks. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Noble Knight also tossed in, what I like about the gold system is that it's simple but can be made more complex as the players want, if the players want it to be. For example, you could say that they don't have the right currency, so the conversion rate is a minus. Yeah, true. In my experience, players do not care about tracking the gold or the gems. Like, this is what they really care about. Like, they don't want to know, do I have specifically enough gold to buy this specific thing? They would just want to know, like, am I rich enough to kind of walk in and afford what I want? And can I sort of just, all right, here you go, here's the gold. Like, they want it in that simple of terms, and this offers that. Noble Knight says maybe it's a flower given to us by someone special, like a parent, or maybe someone that they're looking for. Oh, yeah. I mean, why were we climbing in the first place? Were we looking for our family, and that was part of it? Or... yeah, why was climbing so important to our character? Maybe we believe... maybe it's like a coming-of-age ritual. The members of our elven clan need to reach the top of the mountain to become a true... an adult or whatever. But then why are we out being an adventurer? I mean, we've got the Dryad who's like forcing us to leave, I suppose. So that's an easy enough answer. Maybe it's... or maybe our families... maybe members of our elf clan, when they are ready to... when they reach their 400th year or whatever, like, they pass on to the heavens by climbing to the tallest mountain and going into a trance, and then their gods will pull their soul from their body. And so the top of this mountain, this like ancestral mountain, is just covered, almost kind of gruesome, like it's sort of giving me Mount Everest vibes, but it's covered in bodies. Elf corpses in meditative poses. Not like strewn about and like laying Peter Griffin style all tangled up, but all in the same calm meditative pose. And we were climbing up there to like leave an offering for our family. Like, yes, you climb up there when you go to die, but others would climb up there to sort of commune with the spirits of their ancestors. Ooh, I'm really liking this idea. So we have the offering. Oops, let me get it so it stops doing the center. There we go. The offering we planned to leave at our parents' grave. That's cool. And so part of our adventure is like, we have to go back at some point. We didn't ever get to leave this offering for them. But then this Dryad, we like got stuck, we got trapped, we couldn't reach the top. We made this deal with the Dryad, and now we're out being this adventurer until eventually we return home and leave this with them. I like it. And I also like that there's added stakes or weight to the deal we made with the Fae. Not only did they save us from certain death, but it also, as part of this deal, we're not able to go be with our family. And we might meet them sooner than later out as part of being an adventurer. We could easily get ourselves killed. But that's my contribution. What else are we thinking? Kenneth, of course, with something with a mask here. A piece of a broken mask. Something from the person who told us about this place. Maybe. Noble Knight said maybe they didn't live anywhere high. They actually lived at the base of the mountain, but the fields were barren, so they had to climb to get food for their family. Another, like, a different vein of an idea, but it's very cool. Edward Boyer needs to be something personal. I mean, I'm not sure if you're saying that in response to what the other said or if you're saying it to my idea, but I'd say an offering you were going to leave at your parents' grave feels pretty dang personal. What's one more? What were the examples they gave? A bundle of offerings. So it was an pick this or that. Okay. Well, we have our very personal thing. We picked our health potion. We picked our personal thing. We have a torch, 50 feet of rope, basic supplies, handful of gold. Oh, sweet. Let's mark off our handful. Boop. Oh, hold on. One little handful of gold. Cool. All right, what's next? I think we're in a pretty good spot here. I hate when I'm swiping between tabs. Does it do it when I do it this way? Oh, it does do it that way. It's so annoying. I hate that Mac shifts everything when I'm swiping between my tabs because on stream it just looks like my screen is going absolutely crazy. Anyways, let's see what's next. Choose your starting gear. We just did that. Step 6, create your background. Next, explore your character's background by answering the background questions in your character guide. Several prompts are provided to jumpstart your inspiration. We've sort of discussed this a little bit. We'll need to figure out more. But as part of our background, ooh, I forgot about this. We get to do our experiences. Oh, these are so cool. Okay, so if you haven't heard, if you haven't read about this yet, basically how it works is rather than having the set list of acrobatics, athletics, investigation, deception, blah, 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 you get to pick 2 experiences that your character, based off of their background and their life sort of up to this point, they would be very good at, things they're very experienced in. And you can sort of express these as like background titles like assassin, blacksmith, bodyguard. Or there could be characteristics as an affable, battle-hardened bookworm. Specialties, which for us could be like climber, which specialties and skills are sort of, they're very similar. Or we could do it as a catchphrase. A saying you have, a phrase. And when you are in a situation where you could apply your experience, you can use 2 hope to grant yourself I think it's a +2 bonus for the experience. Okay, so cool. Let's come up with those. Back to Canva we go. Where do we put these? Where do you write these? Oh, right here. Okay, so thinking about our background and our experience, what makes sense? And what are the questions it asks about the background? Character description. Not description. Background. Answer any of the following background questions. You can also create your own questions. Which god did you devote yourself to? What incredible feat did they perform for you in a moment of desperation? So that's more of our dryad as opposed to a god. So we sort of already have that answer. Hey, Kyle, hitting us with that final super chat. Just gonna leave this here. Put us over the edge. Hell yeah, buddy. Celebrate that in the chat. Okay, we hit our 5 out of 5 super chat goal. Blessings be upon everybody who participated in that. I think it was Kyle, Alex Wants Beans, and Marc all hit me up with a super chat. Made a little tithing to the church today, which means, yep, we'll do a prep and publish a one-shot adventure. Hells yeah. That will be one of our, we'll do that as sort of our bonus streams. How's that sound? So I'll kind of have to double check my calendar, but I think we'll do that either tomorrow or Thursday. We'll see kind of how it goes. But keep an eye on the channel and see what gets scheduled for upcoming streams. But Kyle, blessings be upon you. May Vecna see through your third eye and give you an unholy blessing. Appreciate it, dude. Hell yeah, that feels good. Back to our background questions, though. So we know sort of what we're serving and what miracle they performed for us. How did your appearance change after taking your oath? We got these big wooden gauntlet things on our arms. In what strange or unique way do you communicate with your god? Oh, we haven't really thought about that. I would imagine it's sort of telepathic. Like, we are no longer just ourselves anymore. The Dryad is inhabiting our body with us. It's not like we're us and the Dryad exists only in the gauntlets and we're sort of two separate things, and when we're wearing the gauntlets we can commune with them. No, like, it has rooted itself into us. And if you were to like do an autopsy of our body and you cut our head open, you would see, I would imagine, like roots have kind of grown up into our spinal cord and fused into our brain. So I think we communicate telepathically. That's my imagination of it. So with that in mind, what are our experiences? Kenneth says maybe good catch as a catchphrase. Yeah, it could be something like that. A climber. The climber is interesting, though, because we got stuck. Now, of course, just because we're experienced at something doesn't mean we can never fail at it. But what about, like, risky climber? I feel like that could work. It gives us a little more flavor to work off of what got us stuck in that bad situation. It wasn't just that a piece of equipment broke. It's that we took an unnecessarily risky route that might have saved time. It could have gotten us there quicker. And maybe there was a storm rolling in. We're like, oh shit, we got to get up there as fast as we can. Sure, we'll take this kind of more dangerous route, but I'm sure I can handle it. Boom, we get stuck. But you could also apply that anytime you're climbing. We could use that. I dig it. And as the GM, knowing that there's that risky part of it, I might be willing to kind of give a little more to the character as part of the like risk reward of making that attempted check. One more. What else do we got? Kenneth Soto says maybe something with meditation. Like when we meditate, we get dropped into a dream world where there's like forest, or the forest where we met the dryad. Well, remember, we didn't meet the dryad in a forest. We met them up on a mountain, which maybe it was like a mountainous forest. But yeah, I don't know if meditation really will help us as an experience with skill checks, though. Alex wants beans. Someone double dog dared us to make the climb. Yeah, that's funny. What else could be good? Now, we could give ourselves 2 climbing experiences, because if we want to, we could spend 2 hope. Or wait, do you have to spend 2 hope to get 1 experience? Or is it 1 hope to... I can't remember. It's either spend 1 hope or 2 hope. But either way... oh, no, it's right here. Spend a hope to use an experience or help an ally. Okay, so we get a +2 bonus from the risky climber if we also gave ourselves like mountain climber, which would be kind of lame. That one would also have a +2 bonus. We could spend 2 hope to get a +4 bonus. But I don't know if we want to like so specifically be a climbing character. What else is our character good at? We lived in some elf tribe at the base of a mountain where the elderly would go up to meditate atop the mountain and pass into the heavens. We would climb this mountain to go commune with the ancestors and leave offerings there. What's another totally different aspect of our character besides climbing? Are we a hunter? Are we a gatherer? Did we also go out and get food for the tribe? What was sort of our role within the tribe? Maybe that would help us here. Alex Wants Bean says, maybe now we know a little bit something... Maybe now we know a little bit about the Fae. Since we had a deal, we could do Fae knowledge or something. That's not a bad idea. Edward Boyard III, out of curiosity, how would the experience creation work if the memories of the character were taken as a price? How would the experience creation work if the memories of the character were taken as a price? Example, a former slave or an injured soldier. It's hard to say. The vibe, and really what I'm kind of getting from this character creation process with the experiences is you, like, no one will have a clearer idea than you, the person creating the character, on how you want the experiences to be applied. So with the examples you just put down of like former slave, like working down in the mines, or you're an injured soldier, those don't have to be your experiences. Those could just be things that happened in your backstory. But like if you were an injured soldier, then maybe your experience is like frontline fighter. You were always fighting at the front line. Now that resulted in you becoming injured, but the injured soldier part isn't the experience. It's the being at the front lines, fighting in the worst conditions. That's where you could get the bonus, right? But maybe you put injured soldier down and, well, hey, like I got injured fighting in the front lines, so it also applies that way. Does that make sense? It's meant to be very open-ended sounds like a bad thing, but it's open-ended in the best way. I even made a note when I was reading through this of like, the experience section is the most flexible but intuitive and easy to understand character creation process I feel like I've ever seen. It's so cool. Alex Once Beans said, in addition to maybe some sort of Fey knowledge skill, maybe we're some sort of gatherer that might add to the whole climbing thing. Oh yeah, we're really good at finding herbs and berries and magical things like that. Ooh, cool. So yeah, what could we put? We could put like, how do we want to phrase this? I kind of want to do some sort of saying for this, a catchphrase. Oh, where am I going? Oh, I'm scrolling through the wrong thing. I thought we were in the rule book. Like, sorcerer, seraph. There we are. Like some sort of saying, like there's a berry for that. Like if there's a problem, if someone's sick, if someone's hungry, you got a headache, you have some bad luck. A saying we have is, there's a berry for that. And that's in reference to, we can go find it. See, and now you read that, you're like, what does that even mean as an experience? I don't get it. But I, as the player, will know when that moment presents itself. And it's like, ooh, I can ask the GM, like, what's a good example? There's a goblin tribe, right? Where we are trying to fight a big tribe of goblins, but there's more than we think we can handle in a fight. I could ask my GM, saying like, well, I wonder if I wanted to maybe sneak some berries, I think this is in Baldur's Gate, I think I've seen clips of this. If I wanted to put something in their big food cauldron to poison them all, is there a berry for that nearby? And then I would make some sort of, what would that be? That would be probably an instinct. Would that be an instinct check? I don't think it would be a knowledge check. Yeah, sort of an instinct check with we already have a +1 to that. But we could, oh my god, sorry I'm giving you so much fucking whiplash here. Let me zoom out and sneeze, hang on. Excuse me. We would get a +1 from our instinct, and then we could spend a hope to get a +2 bonus for there's a berry for that experience we have. So we'd have a total of +3 on the roll to try and scavenge for some sort of poisonous berry to put in the goblin stew. It is the coolest character creation ever. Oh, I love it. It's so much cooler than just, I'm proficient in survival. Because that's so bland and generic. Every ranger is, and every druid is proficient in survival. But this is specific to us. It's so fucking cool. I love it. Kenneth said there's a plant for that instead of a berry. Yeah, I mean, like, in my mind, I put berry, but yeah, you make a good point. It's like, it's more of just, like, plant, berry, herb, something. There's something we could scavenge, is sort of the vibe here. But Alex Once Bean said, so we had to scale the mountain to find the medicinal berry to heal our loved one, hence the failed risky climb. Yeah, that could be a totally another, we could change our backstory entirely. We weren't just climbing up to see our parents. We were climbing up on this ancestral mountain to harvest some sort of rare berry. And maybe the thing we have in our inventory, maybe it's the offering we plan to leave at our parents' grave. Or maybe it's, well, did we save the person? Or did they die? Because if they lived, then why would we leave to be an adventurer? Well, I guess because the Dryad is making us. Oh, that's interesting. We healed this person, but we're stuck in this Fey deal that's requiring us to be an adventurer. Maybe as part of the deal, they're like, you just need to wander the realm for at least a year. Do it for a year, and then we can part ways. I like that. That's fun, too. We're like building two different character backstories at the same time here, but maybe it's like a lock. How do you spell a lock of hair? Is it L-O-C-H? L-O-C-K is like lock a door. But L-O-C-H, that doesn't look right either. Let's do Lady Galadriel, right? 3 strands of hair from our sick lover. Our sick lover. Climbed a mountain to get... Okay, I'm not going to put all the details there. But, yeah, we climbed this mountain trying to get the berries that would heal them. We got stuck. The Fae sort of watched us suffer for a few days before eventually being like, hey, maybe we can work out a deal here. They give us their gauntlet arms, we climb up, we get the berries, we come back down, And maybe we get back in time to save this person, maybe we don't. Either way, even if they're alive, we don't get to spend time with them because we made a deal, and the Fae is requiring us to go out and travel the world. Oh, so cool. Both of those are so fun. All right, we picked our experiences. We've got both of those. Kenneth, why lover? Really? What do you mean? I don't get it. Lover? Really? What's the question mark here? What, you don't like a D&D character who has a lover? Cringe. Okay. What's left? Choose your domain. Oh my god, I forgot about the domain cards. There's so many cool things. Connections is just like more background stuff. You sort of ask these questions with the other characters, but we get to do our domain cards. Oh, I forgot. They're so fun. Okay, the Seraph is Splendor and Valor. I need a reminder on what these look like. Here we go. Okay, so we are the Seraph. So we have Splendor and Valor. So this is Valor. Valor is the domain of protection. Whether through attack or defense, those who choose this discipline channel formidable strength to protect their allies in battle. Valor offers great power to those who raise their shields in defense of others. And Splendor is the domain of life. Through this magic... whoa, what the... Oh, shoot, I just clicked a hyperlink. Hang on. Let me get back. Yeah, Alex, I'm with you. Having a lover is sick. I don't know what Kenneth is on right now. Oh, where were you? Oh my god, where the hell were these domains? I jumped us from like the very front of the book to the very end of the book. There it is. Okay, let's try that again. Splendor is the domain of life. Through this magic, followers gain the ability to heal and, to an extent, control death. Splendor offers its disciples the magnificent ability to both give and end life. Okay, so we gotta remember those symbols. Sort of like an upside-down sun and a shield. And we get to pick 2? Is that what it said? I think we picked 2. Okay. Let's see what we got. So under Splendor... Where's Splendor? Here it is. So we've got 3 to choose from. Bolt Beacon. Make a spellcast roll against a target within far range. And I'm going left to right here. Make a spellcast roll against a target within far range. On a success, spend a hope to send a bolt of shimmering light toward them, dealing D8 plus 2 magic damage using your proficiency. The target becomes temporarily vulnerable and glows brightly until this condition is cleared. What did vulnerable do? There's only 2 conditions in all of Daggerheart, which I think I like. There is vulnerable, which I think, does that mean you're rolling with disadvantage? Or you take extra damage? I can't remember. There's vulnerable, and then there's something else. I can't remember the 2 conditions. Someone help me out. Oh, let's see what Kenneth had to say. Let's see. Mr. Kenneth, it's so generic. What about something else like brother, or town, or a family friend, or a friend who saved your life once? All of those are generic too. A brother, a family friend. I'm with Edward. People would shake the world for love. Yeah, dude. Kenneth, don't be a hater for, like, dude, love's like the coolest thing in the whole world. What are you talking about? I missed a message from Mr. Brady. And I don't know if somebody mentioned it yet, but there's a beta version for a Warlock class available on the Daggerheart site. Oh, true. Yes, there is. Anyways, now that we've got Kenneth's hater comment out of the way. Oh my gosh, I gotta blow my nose. I'm so sorry. I'm coming off of a cold here. So give me... I've got the thuds. Oh, I've got the suds. Nope, we're good. We're cleared out. Enough at least for the last... Oh my god, we've been streaming for almost 2 hours. That's crazy. This does not feel like it's been 2 hours. Unreal. Okay. Anyways, we read Bolt Beacon, which I could see that one working where instead of sending a beam of shimmering light, like it says, we send a bunch of tendrils from the fingertips of the gauntlet and can punch things when they're really far away. And that's how we deal our D8 plus 2 magic damage. Mending Touch. You lay your hands upon a creature and channel healing magic to close their wounds. When you can take a few minutes to focus on the target that you're helping. Oh, I like that it says when you can take a few minutes. Seems like there's not a lot of healing that can happen in the combat, at least from what I've seen so far, which I like. But when you can take a few minutes to focus on the target you're helping, you can spend 2 hope to clear a hit point or a stress on them. Once per long rest, when you spend this healing time learning something new about... Oh, wait. Once per long rest, when you spend this healing time learning something new about them or revealing something about yourself, you can clear 2 hit points or 2 stress on them instead. Oh! Whoa, that is so cool. That is a built-in role-playing mechanic. If you learn something new about this character or share something about yourself, you get not just 1 hit point or 1 stress, but you can do 2 hit points or 2 stress. Wait. Once per long... Wait, hold on a second. Who does it target? When you can take a few minutes to focus on the target you're helping, you can spend 2 hope to clear a hit point or stress on them. Oh, spend 2 hope to clear 1 hope or 1 hit point or 1 stress, but if you learn something new during a long rest, you can do 2 hit points or 2 stress. I see, so it's 1 or 2. Okay. And then we also have access to Reassurance. Once per rest, after an ally attempts an action roll, but before the consequences take place, you can offer assistance or words of support. When you do, your ally can re-roll their dice. Okay, I don't feel like that one fits us. The Bolt Beacon does, and Mending Touch does, but we also have access to the... What was this one called? Valor. Valor domain. What I really like about the domains, all of these, this feels very Magic the Gathering to me. Obviously, there's way more... Well, not way more, but there's several more than there are mana types in Magic the Gathering. But this is fun. I could see a lot of Magic players being like, oh, I get to pick my domain and build my character around that. That's just like building a deck around a specific mana type. It's so cool. All right, let's see our 3 options for... Oh my god, I already forget what it was called. Valor. Bare Bones. When you choose not to equip armor, you have a base armor score of 3 plus your strength and use the following as your base damage thresholds. Ooh. So tier 1 is 9 and 19. Oh, wow. That actually could work really well for us because we're bare bones in the sense that we don't have armor. We have this druidic bark root shield armor that can kind of grow wherever we need it to, or we can make big shields with our hands. And right now... Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. I forgot. That was my bad. I think that was my only one so far where I forgot to shake the... Or, I was reading chat. Forgot to change the screen. So I was just reading Bare Bones, the Valor one. Right now, our armor, going back to Canva, is 7 and 15. So we'd go up... Whoa, what would we go up to? That's crazy. We'd go from 7-15 to 9 and 19. And our armor would become our base of... It would become 3 plus our strength. So our armor would go up 2. Our armor would go up to a 5. Our thresholds would go up a lot. And our evasion would go up 1 as well. If we didn't take armor. That's sounding pretty good. Maybe we'll do that. But we've also got Forceful Push. Coming back to Google. Make an attack with your primary weapon against a target within melee range. On a success, you deal damage and knock them back to close range. On a success with Hope, add a d6 to your damage roll. That makes sense for having these big, heavy punches or sending out a bunch of these vines and it kind of grabs the character and shoves them back. Ooh, I like that. And then there's I Am Your Shield. When an ally within very close range would take damage, you can mark a stress to stand in the way and make yourself the target of the attack instead. When you take damage from this attack, you can mark any number of armor slots. It's a cool ability, but not one I think really fits us. I think we'll do a little poll here to kind of... This will be one of our last things we do here. Or let's see. Whatever the top 2 are from this poll will be the ones we choose. We should take ... I think we'll pick either Bolt Beacon, Mending Touch, Bare Bones, or Forceful Push. We get to pick 2. Which of those do we want? Hey, Edward, thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day, and hopefully you're having a holiday today. Have the day off work. Hope you do something fun. Okay. Bolt Beacon, Mending Touch, Bare Bones, Forceful Push. And we could end up taking Bolt Beacon and Mending Touch, or we could take Bare Bones and Forceful Push. You can do like any combination from the domain cards that you want. The domain cards are very fun. I enjoy them a lot. I don't know if I'm going to love needing to like collect all the cards and like keep track of them all, but it's still very cool. What's in the lead so far? Bare Bones and Forceful Push. Okay, both of the Valor. Is that Valor? Yep, Valor and Splendor. So both of the Valor in the lead. That's probably what we'll end up taking then. We'll let that poll keep running for a sec, but let me do my little screenshot here. Grab our card. Right there. Boop. And then we'll also snag this one. Doop. Okay, over into Canva. Drop these in here. Oh, which one was that? Forceful Push and Bare Bones. Perfect. Cool. This is a pretty freaking sick character, guys. Oh, shoot. I lost one of the... Lost the other card. Is it the first one? Forceful Push, Bare Bones. I'm just being super hyper specific about wanting them all to be formatted the same with this like outline so they're easier to see. Cool. Did we just do it? I think besides the like connection questions, but those you have to ask with the other characters, I think we might have just built our first character for Daggerheart. Let's see. Let's jump back to the character creation steps, but I'm pretty sure we're done. Okay, we did our experiences. We picked our domain cards. We don't need to worry about shared domains. Create your connections. Yeah, you just answer some questions that are on the character sheet that have to do with your... Oh my god. Sorry, guys. I'm near the end of the 2 hours. I'm being bad about switching back and forth. The last step, what we were just looking at, was create your connections. Step 9, which I believe... Yep, that's the last step. But if we go back into Canva, we can look at some of the questions that we could ask if we had characters with us. Choose one or more for each line or write your own description. Oh god, I keep going to character description for some reason. Connections. What promise did you make me agree to should you die on the battlefield? Why do you ask me so many questions about my god? You've told me to protect one member of our party above all others, even yourself. Who are they and why? So that would be really fun if we had a cast of characters or if we were getting ready to join a session. But hell yeah, team. We did it. We have prepped our Seraph. Oh, we need a name. We don't have a name yet. Who's got an idea for our elf Seraph who has fused their flesh with a dryad to escape a dangerous situation, and in so doing made a deal that requires we take them across the land? Which, because I don't know if I ever said this, but the thought is dryads can't leave their tree, but we have basically become what their tree has rooted within, and we can walk around. So we're sort of carrying their tree across the realm, allowing them to see as many cool things as they can. What would be a cool elf name? Elves, despite this being a really cool character, are kind of one of my least favorite species. They're hard to like brainstorm cool ideas for. I feel like a lot of characters default to elf, but I am definitely more of a dwarf or human guy myself. Topaz? Sounds like a dwarf name. I mean, that is like just a gemstone. Maybe there's like a lot of times what I'll do when I'm coming up with names for things is I'll look up famous things in the area or the realm of what I'm trying to come up with and just tweak it a little bit. So I'm going to look up famous climbers, and we could just go off of a famous climber in the past. Or you know what? Who was the first person to climb Everest? Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. I'm not lying, that is his last name. Tenzing. That's a kind of a cool name. Here, let me show you what I'm seeing. Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. I think Tenzing's a fun name. Tenzin? You could just drop the G. Tenzing. Doesn't sound elvish. Tenzing. I like Tenzin. Yeah, why don't we go with Tenzin? Back to Canva. We are Tenzin. What's our last name? Some sort of title. I like to do surnames or titles. Tenzin the... We were a berry picker. We could climb things pretty well. But what about some sort of reference to like our fingers are always stained a color because of the berries we picked? Like Tenzing blue, Tenzing the... Nothing's coming to me. I'm seeing a couple of different ideas in chat. Alex wants beans, says maybe Verdant. Edward has one. Galadror, that's a cool name. Tenzin Barkhands. Yeah, Tenzin Barkhand. I am trying to decide if I want it to be that literal. Like, because we wouldn't have probably been born with the name Barkhands, but we certainly could have adopted a title that has something to do with that, right? Now, if we wanted to do something in the realm of Barkhands, we could have a name that sort of embodies the fact that we have these really calloused hands that are unusual for an elf because of our lives spent like picking things in the forest and climbing mountains, just having our hands torn up. What about Tenzing Root Palm or Palm Root? Palm Root's kind of cool. And that has a couple different meanings. Like, we root our hands into the mountain when we're climbing, but also when we have a bunch of herbs or berries in the palm of our hand, they're sort of like rooting in there. And now, of course, in the current state of our character with a world tree, dryad, whatever, growing into our forearms, it has a third meaning or whatever. But Tenzin Palm Root, that's a cool name. I dig it. Ooh, what's this? Alex wants beans. Something in, so German, griff means hold and sail means rope. So maybe griffsail. That's cool too. That's kind of cool. I tend to this is me. This is a me thing. But for my last names, my character names, I don't like to do things that are weird, hard to pronounce, or sort of like odd looking names that you look at it and you're like, I need to give that another pass to try and even figure out what that says or how to pronounce it. I like to have just really clear, easy to read last names, surnames, titles, things like that. But there we go, everybody. Tenzin Palm Root. Our elf seraph has been created, and we could run them in a session of Daggerheart if we wanted to. Oh, that was fun. I mean, we took 2 hours, but that's because we're doing it on stream or brainstorming ideas together, sort of a little slow. I feel like I could have easily come up with this character in like 10 minutes, if not less, if I really just had sat and committed all my attention to this. But hell yeah, guys. That was a ton of fun. And thanks to all 18, I'm seeing just, I happen to have it pulled up now. I usually don't. But all 18 of you weirdos who are watching this right now and had fun brainstorming this character, thank you. I hope, hey, maybe you should take this and play it in your own campaign of Daggerheart. I would love to know if Tenzin Palm Root showed up in a session in the future. But I have got a call with Marc coming up here pretty soon. I'm hungry. I'm going to grab a snack and stuff beforehand. But yeah, we hit that 5 super chat goal too. So we'll do our bonus stream where we'll publish a one-shot, or we'll prep and publish a one-shot. I'll probably get that scheduled for tomorrow or Thursday. But other than that, that's all I got. Go enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. And we say these things in your unholy names. Amen. Bye-bye.